Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church, also known as the Church of the River. My name is Lisa Jennings. I'm honored and pleased to serve as worship associate this Sunday. You are all welcome here today. What a nice crowd. A lot of activities today. In the rich assortment of languages, cultures, and hues, each contributing to the mosaic of our shared humanity, you are welcome here. In the various ways you navigate and express your gender, in the authenticity of your self-expression, you are welcome here. In the depth and breadth of your love, in the myriad forms it takes, you are welcome here. Whether your heart brims with laughter or weighs heavy with tears, in every emotion you bring to this sacred place and space, you are welcome here. So come join us with open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. Together we embark on this journey of community and connection. Welcome here today. Everyone is encouraged to engage with our soul work materials found on the bookshelf at the rear of the sanctuary. Many folks of all ages find that busy hands make for a calm body and a focused mind. Also, as we settle in, please remember to silence any electronic devices. If you're new here, we are glad you found us and hope that in this community you may experience the warmth and love of this congregation. If you'd like to learn more about us, you can find our newcomer form by scanning the QR code in the order of service, and we invite you to pick up a welcome bag as a first-time visitor from the credenza in the back on your way out. These multicolor bags, one of our capable ushers and board members are waving those in the back. Please take a note of the announcements. There's several in the order of service. Particularly today, we have the hanging of the greens and our Covenant Sunday, which is a catered lunch over in the Mississippi River Room. Everyone is invited. You can also scan QR codes in the order of service to see a full list of announcements in the newsletter, pay your pledge, make a donation, etc. Also, if you're on the aisle, please review and pass the baskets that are there. There's pledge cards, there's other cards you can fill out. There's also the green slips for filling out anything you'd like to share in our joy and concerns part of the service, which Reverend Lynn will be officiating. I now invite the music of our choir to draw us deeper into this moment as we enter into worship together.
Amen. What a fabulous bunch of folks you are. Wow. My name is Lynn Hopkins. It is my great honor to serve this congregation as its interim minister. As we gather here this morning on the unceded lands of the Chickasaw and Quapaw peoples, I want to welcome you into this time of worship in the Advent season. I'd like to invite you into this hour of worship this morning with words from Kyle MacDonald. Today, I light our chalice for those who are embroiled in conflict, for they may not be able to burn with the serenity of compassion. Today, I light our chalice for the downtrodden and the hopeless, for they may not be able to light their own flames of joy. Today, I light our chalice for those who stand in defiance of tyranny, for they may not be able to light their own beacons of harmony. Today, I light our chalice for the innocent and the hungry, for they may not be able to light their own fires of warmth. Today, I light our chalice for peace. Please join with me in speaking aloud the chalice lighting words that are printed in your order of service. We light this chalice.
With the challenge of freedom, the goal of equality, and the warmth of community. May all who gather here offer and find the blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart.
Please, if you will, rise as you are willing and able and join in singing number 235 in your gray hymnal, Deck the Halls.
Well done and good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Lakeman. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve as your Director of Lifespan Faith Development here at Church of the River. Beloveds, today we gather for the second Sunday of Advent, a season when we let the light grow in us. Slowly and steadily, week by week, candle by candle. Last Sunday, we lit the candle of hope, The kind of hope rooted in our Unitarian Universalist values that everyone has worth, that we belong to one another, and that together we can help bend the world toward justice. Today, we light the candle of peace. And peace, shalom, is more than the quieting of conflict. It is a way of being. Shalom is a Hebrew word from the Jewish tradition, and it is often used as both a greeting and a farewell. Think about that for a moment. Beginning and ending every encounter by wishing someone peace. That simple practice shows us something that is vitally important. Peace isn't a feeling or an idea. It is something we create in the way we speak to one another, in the way we show up for our neighbors, and the way in which we move through the world. Shalom is a practice, an aspiration, a wholeness that is always present and yet always calling us forward. And in a world where fear is too often used as a tool of control, where authoritarian overreach seeks to shrink our freedoms and isolate us from one another, our commitment to peace must be active. Peace is the daily work of widening the circle, speaking truth with courage, protecting the vulnerable, choosing courage and compassion even when it is difficult, and building communities where every person can flourish. And this part is important. Peace is also nurtured in moments of joy. Joy is not frivolous. Joy is not a distraction. Joy is an act of resistance. Each time we create spaces where laughter replaces fear, where connection overcomes isolation, where delight reminds us of our shared humanity, we are doing the holy work of peacemaking. As I light, as we light our candle this week, may the light of hope and the glow of peace strengthen our spirits, embolden our steps, and as we work together for a more just, joyful, and peaceful world. And now, in that spirit of peace building through joy, we turn to a tradition that embodies exactly that. For many years here at Church of the River, the 12 Days of Christmas has been a beloved part of our caroling traditions. As our celebrations have grown and shifted into the hanging of the greens and our festive lunch, this playful ritual continues to stitch our community together with laughter, penny whistles, music, and shared delight. You've likely noticed and perhaps heard that there are some curious items in the pews around you. Those are your props. If you see an unclaimed prop near you, please pass it to a friend or pick it up yourself. Because sometimes peace looks like quiet reflection, and sometimes it looks like a sanctuary full of waving birds and golden rings held aloft by people committed to joy. So, here's how we'll join in today. Listen up, these are your instructions. I invite you to remain seated for the song. However, when we arrive at your day, your prop, you may either stand up or wave it in the air so that we know and we can all see the joy of each verse. Now, well, I'll do this part first. As we count down through the items, you're invited to pop up or wave every time your item reappears. Now, there are a few props that if you have not done this before, with our particular set of props, you might be unsure which day your item is. So I'm going to call out just a few that aren't the most obvious. So if you have a wooden bird, those are our calling birds. Our partridge in a pear tree has pears. And our 2 hens, yep, the last stuffed birds are our hens, if you've got those. If you have eggs, you are our geese a-laying. Feathers are swans. And hats are lords a-leaping. The rest should be fairly self-evident, and if not, look around as we go through, and I'm sure you will figure it out. So, friends, find your props, find your voices, and choir, lead us into it.
Free
Thank you, Courtney. And everyone else can leave their props where you found them or hand them to Mike on your way out. What a beautiful reminder, everyone, that peace isn't only something that we hope for, it is something we practice together. In our singing, in our joy, and in the way we hold one another with care and delight. May the playful energy we just shared continue to ripple through our morning and afternoon, into our learning and our decorating, and into all the ways we build peace right here in our community and beyond. And now, as our young people head to their activities, let us bless them with the love and strength of this community. Grown-ups, if you will raise your blessing hands in the air and repeat after me. You are beloved.
You are beloved.
You are sacred.
You are sacred.
You are powerful.
You are powerful.
Go in peace.
Go in peace.
I got to follow that. My reading this morning is from a theologian in the Reformed tradition, former president emeritus of Calvin Theological Seminary, Cornelius Plantinga. Lots of North Americans use the word sin only on dessert menus and when telling an inside joke. If they hear the word used seriously, they might conclude they are in the presence of a Puritan. There are few contexts left in which the word is said and heard straight. A certain number of churches do have a part of the service in which there is confession of sin and assurance of pardon, but in many churches, even preachers mumble when it comes to sin, such a downer. How can you keep customers happy if you keep talking about depressing topics? So, what to do? It is hard to deny that bad things happen in the world, and people are sometimes to blame for causing them. If the word sin puts you off as a way of naming these bad things, I invite you to find another word. Wrongdoing, say, or offense, or what Wormtail and Voldemort do, and make the mental substitution. In any case, the great writing prophets of the Bible were unafraid to diagnose sin as the oldest and deepest human problem. They talked about it all the time, often in contexts in which they protested injustice in the land. The prophets knew that sin has 1,000 faces. They knew how many ways human life can go wrong because they knew how many ways human life can go right. You need the concept of a straight line to tell when one is crooked. These prophets kept dreaming of a time when God would put things right again. They dreamed of a new age in which human crookedness would straighten out. The foolish would be made wise, and the wise made humble. They dreamed of a time when deserts would bloom, mountains would run with wine, people would stop weeping and be able to sleep without a weapon under their pillow. People would work in peace and work to fruitful effect. All humans would be knit together in a brotherhood and sisterhood. All nature and all humans would look to God, lean toward God, and delight in God. The webbing together of God, humans, and all creation in justice, fulfillment, and delight is what the Hebrew prophets call shalom. In English, we call it peace, but it means far more than peace of mind or ceasefire between enemies. In the Bible, shalom means universal flourishing, wholeness, and delight, a rich state of affairs in which natural needs are satisfied and natural gifts fruitfully employed, a state of affairs that inspires joyful wonder as the Creator and Savior opens doors and speaks welcome to the creatures. Shalom, in other words, is the way things are supposed to be. Each entity has its own integrity, and each also possess many edifying relations to other entities. The way things ought to be would also include in individual persons a whole range of healthy responses to other creatures, a spread of appropriate thoughts, desires, emotions, words, deeds, and dispositions. Gratitude, for example, is a fitting emotional response to unexpected kindness, as delight is to the velvety coat of a puppy or the honking of geese in a November flyby. Of course, the dreams of Hebrew prophets are visionary. The regular bursting of high-altitude winery casks so that the mountains may stream with Chardonnay is not necessarily a feature of every ideal world. We would wonder about some of its features. Would other people's annoying music play as part of a perfect world? Would it at least be audible only to its fans? We would probably still agree on many of the broad outlines of a transformed world. It would include, for instance, strong marriages and secure children, nations and people groups in this brave new world would treasure differences in other nations and people groups. In the process of making decisions, men would defer to women and women to men until a crisis arose. Then, with good humor all around, the person more naturally competent in the area of crisis would resolve it to the satisfaction of all. Government officials would still take office. Someone has to decide which streets are cleaned on Tuesday and which on Wednesday. But to nobody's surprise, they would tell the truth and freely praise the virtues of other public officials. Broadband networks would be strong enough to enable quick downloads. Highway overpasses would be graffiti-free. Professors would know students' names, while also leading such lively classes that students no longer felt like Facebooking their way through them. Nobody would unfriend anybody. Teachers of third graders would no longer make them sing. Tow truck drivers and lost motorists would be serene on city streets, secure in the knowledge that under the provisions of government and private foundation grants, former gang members are all now in law school. Images of shalom.
We now take an offering that allows us to exercise that all-important generosity of spirit and to support this church and its many ministries. Donations may be made by scanning the QR code in your printed order of service, via text to 901-350-2686, or on the website at www.churchoftheriver.org. This is also a time, if you have the green slips for joys and sorrows, to include those in the offertory bags or to hand those to the ushers. The gifts of the congregation will now be most gratefully given and received.
This is a moment in our service in which we lift up and let go the things that we carry with us through the week. It is an act of communal prayer. You are invited to write things that you would like spoken aloud at this time. But other than that, the practice is conducted in silence. I have this morning a particular deep sorrow as Tennessee prepares to kill one of its citizens. Harold Wayne Nichols has been on death row, and prosecutors sought to overturn the death sentence, reached a deal, and had that arrangement rejected by a judge. And so now we prepare for an unnecessary death in our name. From Sarah, and I would say from all of us, extra love and support to the Sakan family. She extends love to the family abroad, as Uncle Muhammad is also in poor health. From Anne, perspective. The strength of a young one that is sick that continues to give strength to others despite his sickness. From Sarah, well wishes for my dad as we await a diagnosis for his recent ER and hospital trip. May he continue to receive good care and feel better. Prayers for my mom, Cindy, and all of the Sakans as they offer care and support for his recovery. Good vibes for Aya as she tries out for a new school this week. Prayers for the children, family, and staff of MMS. Jennifer offers prayers for all those who are sick, suffering, or struggling with mental health and find it hard to experience the joy of the season. I invite you to come if you would like and join me in releasing a stone into the cleansing waters of our gathered community. If you're holding something this morning that you're not prepared to bring, it would be my great honor to drop a stone on your behalf, if you will indicate by raising a hand. Please join with me in a spirit of prayer as we join our hearts and minds together in a plea for healing in this challenging time. May all those who suffer in sickness or in violence, in exclusion and isolation, in oppression and incarceration, may all those who suffer know peace. May we all gathered here to the best of our capacity extend compassion, support, and love to those in need. And may we offer the empathy and vulnerability necessary to show our own need in these challenging times. In this season of celebration, may we all find ways to know joy. May we all seek pathways of hope. And may we all experience the inspiration of courage, in gratitude and faith. Amen. Please join me in singing our congregational response. It's number 123 in your gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. No justice, no peace. Whether you have been among those issuing this shout in the street or not, you no doubt are familiar. And I strongly suspect that those who first issued this cry meant it as a challenge. For many, it sounds like a sort of threat. If you will not grant us justice, we will not grant you peace. But the theologically minded among us hear something very different. As long ago as before the ancient Hebrew prophets, the concept of shalom, which we clumsily translate as peace, has been understood to necessarily encompass justice. Shalom does not mean no fighting. Rather, it means the making right of all things. And so, if there is not justice, there is not peace. It's not a threat. It's simply an observation of a truth which we so often fail to recognize. Martin Luther King spoke of the distinction between a negative peace, that is the absence of violence, and a positive peace, that is the presence of justice. And it is true that the details and particulars of Cornelius Plantinga's theology probably have very little to do with mine. And yet we can sing the same song on this topic. That for the establishment of peace, it is necessary to establish justice. Peace is a state of being, to be sure. It is also a discipline and a spiritual practice. If you want peace, work for justice. Great wisdom from the Vatican from years ago. But I always found it more precise to say, where there is no justice, there is no peace. The idea of establishing peace in the absence of justice is as absurd as having a Super Bowl without football. Justice is what peace is made of. Justice not in the framework of retribution, but rather in the origin of the word. Justice means to set right. And the prophets tell us over and over again, if you fail to care for those in need, if you neglect the vulnerable, if you do not house the homeless, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, care for the sick, of course you don't have peace. Nothing truly could be a more obvious case of cause and effect. So when we wish one another peace, let us hear the depth of this call. Let us hear the obligation to care for one another and the larger world. Peace does not exist in the absence of justice. And, by the way, this is not just about caring for the guys sitting at the corner with their cardboard signs, or the ones under the bombs falling from the planes. Because we know that pain, our own suffering, will be transmitted if it is not transformed. Pain that is not transformed is transmitted. And so this is not simply a call for charity or a call for social reform, but it is also a call for caring deeply for one another in this space, for one another in our families and for ourselves. If we are not prepared to deal directly with the effects and the sources of suffering of our neighbors, of our friends, of our family, and of ourselves, it is difficult for me to imagine how we can hope for peace. Platinga frames this idea in the context of sin. That's not a word I normally use. I understand what is meant by it, but I also understand that most of us have been sufficiently impacted by a dominant religious culture of judgment that the word is no longer very useful. But I appreciate his calling it to mind. In my own understanding, in my own journey, I've always thought of sin as being a thing that one can only find in the mirror. Wherever else it may lie is not ours to find. But the notion of sin is as essentially the disruption of shalom gives it meaning and value to me. Disruption of shalom, which in a theistic sense may be reworded as defiance of the will of God, in a secular sense may be understood as a violation of justice. There are those who would say it means disturbing the peace, but I assure you there are times that shalom disturbs the peace. Because this notion of establishment of justice means that sometimes we are called to get in the way. It means sitting down in seats not designated for us, whether on segregated buses or white-only lunch counters. But it means these things not just in history decades ago. It means today. If we would hope for peace, if we would aspire to peace on earth, in our community, in our family, in our nation, in the world, if we would seek peace, sometimes we are called to get in the way of the false peace imposed by a violent domination system. What does that mean in real life? I don't know what it means for you. I don't always even know what it means for me. But I do know that every one of these promises of Advent, these promises that accompany a time in which we await the coming beloved community, each one of these spectacular promises is encased in a moral and religious obligation on my life. And I cannot hope for peace until I am prepared to work for justice. When we ask God to guide our steps, we got to be prepared to move our feet. Please join me now if you will rise and sing together. Number 100 in the gray hymnal, I've Got Peace Like a River.
Peace like a river,
may the peace that passes all understanding grant you the joy of human connection and the courage to accept the call as it comes into unfamiliar and uncomfortable space as we bring about shalom. Blessed be.